there's a cascading effect if it keeps going. If the lockdowns continue, which, as you know, they probably are into at least early May, this is going to have a cascading effect. So at least one major real estate investor, commercial real estate investor, has pitched an interesting plan along the lines of your last guest. The guy's name is Scheel. He's on Fox often. He's a big commercial real estate investor. He rents his properties out to places like Planet Hollywood, Wendy's, you name it. A lot of them can't make payments right now because people aren't going to gyms or they're not going to Wendy's that much. His plan, and he presented it to the Treasury Department, was pretty simple. Again, like your last guest, a 3-month forbearance on commercial real estate, on residential real estate payments, and maybe even credit cards. And the theory is this: we're not forgiving any loans. The principal and the interest gets added back on the bill when we get out of this. But right now, people can't pay it. And if the banks keep foreclosing on these properties, you will get this sort of multiplier effect. Forget about your PPP check. Forget about the sort of assistance that's coming. You're essentially going to be putting people out of business right now based on those foreclosures. Now, what does the Treasury have to say? We should point out that Scheel, I interviewed him today, told me we presented it to Mnuchin's office, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin's office inside the White House. Jared Kushner is the person that he's reaching out to. So far, no good as far as he's concerned. But it is an interesting plan because I will tell you that commercial real estate, and I've been hearing this from multiple sources, is starting to get hammered now like there's no tomorrow. There are foreclosures by banks. They are putting essentially businesses out of business based on these foreclosures. A couple of other things we should point out. I've been talking to people on the front lines, doctors. There's a lot of doctors that spout off about this. They haven't been in an ICU ward maybe ever in their lives, including as residents. The doctors on the front lines, and I've been speaking with them, as you know, my brother's one of those doctors, have been telling me that the lockdowns have made significant progress in halting the spread of the virus. If there's anything that's made significant progress, it's not that malaria drug that people keep touting, even the press. It's the lockdowns. Now, that's the positive thing. The lockdowns have helped stop the spread of the virus, no doubt. The negative thing is that these lockdowns have also crushed our economy. And you've seen it in commercial real estate. And at some point, we got to figure out, is the cure worse than the disease, obviously. The medical profession, like Dr. Fauci would say, we need to go further. Economists are saying we are creating a Great Depression. This is probably the scariest story I've ever covered. And you and I have been around for a while, been through the financial crisis. This thing is an unbelievable travesty, what we're going through right here. Neil, back to you.
And it could get worse.